Okay, so I know I haven't. Of course, as soon as I start recording a video, I get pings from Discord. Holy shit. Okay, we're just gonna. Okay, I don't know if you guys can even hear that. We're gonna turn on a little streamer mode. Hold on, where the hell is that again? I don't remember. Oh, there it is. It's literally a section called streamer mode in Discord. Wow, Discord, you're so helpful. Okay, so I haven't recorded in a while, right? Makes sense. My mic's probably really loud, and I'll probably have to change that because I see that it fucking goes into the red. Yes, oops, my bad. Anyways, so I keep seeing a bunch of tutorials on YouTube and about how to make panels and how to make this and that, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them look really bad. Not gonna name any names, but I just watched a video of an admin panel that looked kind of crappy. So I'm gonna show off one that I did about 4 months ago before I kind of dropped Roblox developing for a little while. This is mainly what I was playing around with. Now I'm kind of going into Java, like Minecraft plugin development and a different game. I don't know. Anyways, this is one of my friends on Roblox. I think I used his thing as a test dummy. So I use the admin self. It prints my user ID just so that I have if anyone wants to play this, they can just admin themselves and not have to worry about it because this is just a testing server. Question mark commands. This is a panel I made not too long ago, so you can't move it. I didn't make it draggable, but it looks pretty good in my opinion. It gives you the command, it gives you the description, gives you the usage. I even got tab list, whatever, and then there's a player list here, so you can see, okay, what players are in the game, so that you don't have to, I don't know, press tab, just the extra quality of life things. Oh my god, I don't have to press tab anymore to look through everyone's name. No, but you can see their picture as well, so you can base their names off their avatar instead of. I mean, you could just go into the tab list and click through each one, but this way it's a little bit easier. Not really. You can also search for a command. So let's say I want a TP. It'll highlight everything with the word TP in it. No clip. There you go. Clip jail. Now, if I do something like a letter, then it'll highlight everything with that letter. So make sure you do somewhat specifics like TP type TP or fly type fly. Because as you can see, F and FL have some other ones. But if you're looking for a command to see if it's in the game, then you can just search it up. So, I wish I could. Is there no way to? Oh, they moved it to the top right, guys. It's been a while since I've done this. Okay. Anyways, yes, they do work. I did make them work. I was playing around with some admin commands. They're pretty shitty, but they work. Unfly, and then there's also no clip. No clip's a little confusing to make, but it's basically just a fly with a little bit of finesse. But clip again, it's pretty simple. I'm not gonna walk into the wall this time. That's what that wall there is there for, by the way. What else did I have? I jail aspect. I think you can do. Also, I did. Yeah, so you can type in part of their name, right? We're not gonna be going and doing too much of that. But we're going to be going into some of that. But before we go into how I made that one, all right, I know I'm rambling on here, just kind of giving you guys a little showcase so you guys can kind of pick and choose what style you like the most. I'm going to go into a game that I made that's public right now. It's really crappy. I completely stopped working on it, and it's horribly made. And I mean horribly made. Like half of this stuff's going to be deprecated. As soon as I launch this up, create collision groups, deprecated, blah, 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 deprecated. Yeah. I kind of figured. So, looks okay. There's music. I'm gonna mute it. It is copyright free, but it's just annoying. Okay, it's a button game. All right, don't judge me. But I made this developer only panel, and you wouldn't be able to see this unless you're an admin like me. So if you played this game, you wouldn't get it. This is my least proud of thing. Like this looks so bad, and I'm so mad of it. This looks okay. I think this looks all right. That was like kind of when I was getting into it, and this was just something so basic. 'Cause I just wanted to be able to toggle music. Speaking of toggling music, it does work. Okay, never know I did that. So here's something else. The first thing you might notice is you're like, oh, parameters. These are all the things in the game. So I could be like, oh, give, I don't know, this person this much cash, or this much of this, just in case anyone's thing got like reset or whatever, you'll see band duration was here. I don't know why I didn't make band duration part of the parameter. Don't ask me. But here's the thing, it says welcome, right? It looks good, alright, but the real cool thing about this, and this technically isn't supposed to be there, but this is for development purposes, and it says my rank in my group that I own and the group that's part of this game. So just so I could see where people fit in the group. So I can do save to force a save to happen, which just basically says, oh, okay, player data saved successfully. So it saves my data just because in Roblox Studio, data source have a little bit of an issue. Anyways, a lot of this is just debugging stuff. You don't need to worry about that. So here's how this panel works, and this was actually one of my more interesting projects. So in order to make this work, I had to do a couple things, but the big thing is I click on the player, it selects them, and then I could say warn, stop, idiot, sure, whatever, and then I click warn, and then it flashes up on their screen saying stop, idiot, whatever. So this gives a sort of simplicity for developers and admins to just be able to like, oh, as we do, all right, 1,000 cash. Boom, I have 1,000 cash. It's, however, all right, listen, it sets it to 1,000. So if I click 1,000 cash, it's still going to go to 1,000. So I didn't make it add on top just in case I was like, oh, I really need to get them to 0 cash, or this is how much cash they should have. But anyways, I can also say, I don't know, 10 multiplier, and that'll just say that. So the problem with doing this is that it wouldn't save with the data source. That's why I created the save button, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, if I say 10, then I say multiplier, it's just going to throw an error because it's like there's no one selected, whatever. So this is a cool project. If you want to do this, I can do a tutorial on this, which I probably won't do just because this is a little bit more complicated, and I still never figured it out because you'll see that even when I do it correctly and I set it correctly, it always says argument when missing or null. It throws an error no matter what. It works, but it throws an error. I never figured out what that error was caused by, but yeah. So those are some design inspirations. But we're gonna go back to the other one. I'm going to show you guys a little bit how it's scripted. I'm not going to re-script it. I'm way too lazy to do a scripting tutorial on how to do this, but I will go over the script. Obviously, I don't want you guys just copying like piece for piece what I do, because obviously it was a personal project. I don't want it to just be copy and pass around. But yeah. So here's the admin commands. So this is all of the commands that can be run, get band, whatever, find player, find object. So you'll notice these are just a bunch of functions of every single command. And obviously I have one that removes the admin from a player, and obviously one that adds admin to a player. So I can say, oh, admin this player if I wanted to. This was mostly just for the admin self button. But anyways, load player list. This is what loads the player list on the side. The other one looks very similar to this. It's got some events, fires clients. This is the actual function for updating the list. So, can I pull this up? Let me go to started UI and okay, that's not the right one. It's replicate storage. There we go. All right, so it says enabled. Oh, right. There we go. Okay, simple enough. So in this commands thing, you'll also see there's a bunch of remote events because I did this all through local script because it's all GUI. This can make your game a little laggy, so it's not perfectly optimized, especially with the player list stuff. I don't know. If you're making a smaller game, you should be fine. If you're making like a really, really big game, I don't see why you should be having a panel like this anyways. If you're really making a big game, you'll have webhooks and hosts and all that crap. You'll have a bunch of other stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. So here's where all the commands are. You'll notice I have a scrolling frame, so you can scroll down just in case I want to add more. So, and then obviously you'll notice how it kind of looks pretty clean. So what you can do with GUIs, if you guys don't know, basic little GUI crash course, is you can make frames and size them to, I don't know, just a small size on whatever axis. So if you want them to be a vertical line, you size it to 0 on the x-axis, or as close to 0 as you can, and whatever the size vertically it is, and then it'll create a line. And this is how you can kind of section off your GUIs, make them look nice. These are just, excuse me. These are just backgrounds, or not backgrounds, but they're labels. They're just text boxes with blue backgrounds and some text in it. Obviously, you can play around with the fonts, make them look good. Here's just all the stuff that I decided I wanted the syntax to be, so however I wanted them to run the commands. So I'm going to go over the GUI first, and we'll get into the scripting right after. So the way this works, we got buttons, whatever. You guys don't need to know about that, but here's the commands. You want to make a very simple whatever this is supposed to look like, okay? Same with the player list. So player list, you take a player, it's hidden right now, so I'll make it visible. There we go. So the way this works is it inserts in each of these fields. So there's a local script that pulls, goes all the way down, CMDs, then finds player list, then finds player, then finds the frame and says frame, image, whatever. I think this is supposed to be an image frame. Okay, no, there's an image frame inside of this frame. So I don't know why that's there. I honestly have no clue. But I don't think it even should be. Hold on. Oh, it literally shouldn't be. Okay, my bad. I don't notice any difference. Do you guys? No, because I don't know. I don't know why that's there or where that was going. Anyways, oh wait. Anyways, I'll leave that there. I don't want it to break anything. I don't think that's being used. But you need this player section where it is a player name, player rank. These are just subsections of players, so you don't have to worry about these. Player.player, player name, player rank. It fills this in with whatever the local scripts. Sorry, not the local script, because it'll fill it in with your name. Obviously, you'll be the first one, but it'll also go through the entire player list. So it'll take every player in the player list. We'll get to how that works. And then player PFP, it'll pull their PFP from the web page. It's going to be the same one on the Roblox website if you look in the top left corner next to your name. You can't see it here, but mine does have it. Alright, anyways, sorry. Enough random nonsense. I hope you guys are just skipping through this and not watching all of it, because I'd feel really bad. Okay, so I'm going to keep that enabled, but we're going to go to... Do I want to go here first? No. No, I don't. These are just the commands. You guys don't need to worry about the commands, but just in case, fired is as soon as there's a command line event. So admin.command line, which is admin command line. There it is. So the admin command line is non-existent, I guess. I don't know. There it is. Okay. So I remember now what I did. So anyways, that's important. No, kind of, maybe. So we're going to put this back in here, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean. Okay. I don't remember if that was enabled or not. Let me know. I think it wasn't, so we're just going to not enable it and hope it works. So we're going to join the game, and we're going to say, okay, question mark commands. Not going to work. I'm not admin. So, question mark commands. Right, I'm an admin. Obviously, I didn't re-hide this. So this is going to be at the top, just like in that other game. You got to make sure you hide that if you don't want it to be, but regardless. So now, if you'll notice, in most games, they have a thing that detects whether or not, if you want to type a command and you want to type it secretly. So let's see if I remember what keybind I made it. Not slash, not dot. Okay, I obviously don't remember. Okay, yeah, I have no clue. But there was a time that Hide this one, sorry. That's going to bother me if I don't, but there was a time when I had this working to have players be able to press a key if they were admin and it would pull up the command line. Actually, not even if they were admin, it would just pull up the command line. So here's how the chat tag works. Okay, it has to be in starter player, has to be in starter player scripts. This isn't part to do with the tutorial, but this is just how I got my name to say owner. You just gotta you have to tie it to your user ID. It's kind of annoying, but if you're making enough of them, it's not a problem. You can also tie it to a rank. So like, oh, if this player has a rank, then say, okay, they equal this, and this equals this, and you can change it here. I don't know. We'll not go through that right now. Because honestly, it's been way too long since I've done Roblox scripting, and if you guys want to know more about any of this, just let me know, and I'll do something. So, add admin event on server event, connect add admin. So, this is where admin. Okay, right. Add admin. Where's the? I gotta find the function for it. Might not be in here. It should be in here. Step in, add admin. Okay, I went past it. So basically, when they click the thing, mostly is what this is for. It'll just be like, oh, if they're not in the table of admins, then put them in the table of admins. And then next time they fire a command, or so next time they chat. So every time a player chats is when it checks. So then they're going to first check, okay, is the player an admin? Right? And if they're not an admin, we're just going to ignore the chat completely. We're going to say, whatever, don't care about you. You're not important. So that's why we have the isAdmin function, which I will show you. And this runs off of a admins table. So the admins table is right here. So the way this admins table works is you can insert stuff in here manually, or by typing !admin, it will add them to this table and it'll search for them. So obviously, as you can see, I commented myself out. This is my user ID and name, whatever. So the only issue is if you wanted to make it so that a admin is permanent, you'd have to add them in here. If you just use the command in game, they'll only have it in that server, which is nice, but that's more useful for like a temp admin command. That way they only have it for the server and not globally across your game. So if you wanted to make it so that they had it permanently, you'd have to tie this table to a data store and basically make the data store save it and load it every time you join the game or the server started, and then check from that table. But right, that's not something you really want to do, probably. So we're not going to go through that though. So we're going to go through the little chatted thing. So if isAdmin player, then we're going to message. We're just basically going to lowercase every character in the message. So if they type like CMDS with a capital C, it's not going to be like, oh, that's the wrong word. Sorry, you can't do that. It's going to realize, okay, it's the same word, it matches the other one because we're also going to type the other one in full lowercase. You'll see that in a second. So then we're going to split the string at the space. So in case a message has arguments, we want to split it. So if I want to say $fly specific player, if I want to fly a specific player and not myself, I would type $fly and then their name. And the way this would work is the first side of the split, or split string 1, would be me, or it would be whoever, it would be the first part of the command. Kind of. Okay, so it would be the CMDs, and then it would basically split that with the prefix. So the prefix is tied to a thing up here that just says the question mark. And I'm going to try to explain this the best I can because, like I said, it's been a hot minute since I've coded any of this and I didn't document it at all. So splits at the prefix. So it splits again. Command now is going to say question mark command, command. That's why I typed Q command, so it means question mark command, and then it only gets split to the question mark and command. So this should, if this has the prefix, then it will run the command. If it does not have the prefix, then it's not going to work because it won't find the prefix, it'll throw an error, whatever. Technically that should be an if, whatever, but doesn't matter. So CMD name is going to be CMD, which is again this previous string. So this previous string, this string right here, is going to be everything they said is right here. And then this one is going to only be the question mark and then whatever command they choose. So question mark radmin to remove admin. So that's going to say radmin, question mark radmin. And then this one is going to be question mark as one key and radmin as a separate key, so I can access them separately. But this is going to specifically access the radmin part, ignoring the question mark. We just wanted the question mark to make sure it's correct. So now we're going to say, okay, for whatever in the number of split string from 2 to however many are in split string. So however many args they have incremented by 1. I hope you guys understand Lua coding a little bit before you got into this. Otherwise, because I'm not able to really give you guys a dedicated guide on how to code in Lua. And I realize it's already been a 21-minute video, so this is the most retarded thing I've ever done. But if commands command name, then commands command name, player arguments, whatever. So yeah, it's going to find commands and take a something of that. So way this kind of works is we're defining, yeah, here we go. There's commands at the top of the script. And this is just basically opening a dictionary, opening a table, whatever you want to call it, an array. And it's going to say, every time we do this, we're going to say commands.tp equals function. So this is where we're saying, okay, if we're going to add a function to the commands array, that's called TP. So now when a player calls TP, it's going to immediately realize, okay, there's a function tied to that. We're going to go here and we're going to run this. So that is the basics of the coding part. So now for the GUI part, which is what you guys are probably here for, and I don't know why I just explained all that. I'm probably just going to section that off into its own section of the video. But, okay, here is where we're going to update the player list, right? You can see that by the name. And then player to add is what we're saying. So every time a player joins the game, right, we're going to run this little thing. So local function on player added player. So on player added is an event that's tied to Roblox. So Roblox has its own event that basically says a player joined the game. And then we're going to connect it to the function up here. So we're not going to move that, thank you. We're going to connect it to this function up here, which is just going to run this little piece of code. Same thing when they leave, we're going to run this piece of code. So update player list event firewall clients player. This just basically means take this script, take the player, send it over here to this. So we're going to take player to add equals player, and whatever. So player right here is going to be you. You are player. So we're saying if player to add is you, then local players in game, players get players, blah, blah, blah. Basically, we're just saying, okay, make sure that the player to add is under this local script. So for your GUI, we want to add them to your GUI and not add them to everyone's GUI. Because what's going to happen is if you join the game after a bunch of people have joined the game, then you're not going to see everyone, and we don't want to duplicate a bunch of people. my headphones literally just disconnected because they thought I wasn't doing anything, even though I'm using my microphone. It's just because there's no audio input, so my headphones were just like, okay, bye, and just turned off. Whatever. Anyways, continuing on. That's just a little check, but now we're going to say we're going to clone everything. So local clone equals frame clone. So frame is tied to player list.player. So let's see where that is, right? Commands player list.player. So this is what they're cloning. And as you guys saw before, this is what each player box looks like in the game. So then we're going to say, okay, player.playerName.text. So clone.player, right? Because the clone is called player. So clone.player ties into this. We're going to say, okay, player name.text equals player.name. So player is every player in the game. So we're just saying, okay, if you're added to the game, then for each player in the game already, add a box for them so you know who they are. And this is going to compare it to a table at some point just to make sure that there's no discrepancy, no everything looks right, no duplicates down in this destroy player thing. So, right, sets that, then gets the rolling group from the ID. It's a string anyways. I just decided to convert it to a string just in case it wasn't a string. Not necessary. Clone.parent, we want to parent it to the player list, which is your player list. We don't want to take the player list from admin. You want to make sure everything is under this player in this local script stuff. You don't want it to be under the server. Name, player name, visible, whatever. So then, if not, find first child player to add dot name. So basically we're saying if not frame, which is this, nope, this, maybe, this, find first child player to add dot name. So we want to say, okay, if this doesn't have the player's name in it, then clone it, add their name, whatever. Do the things again. Now I'm not really understanding what this means either, because to me this is saying if we can't find your name under this, but I think what happens is it renames the clone to the player's name. Yep, that's what it does. It renames the clone to the player's name. So we're basically saying after all of this, if your name is not a parent, not a child of it, then add a bunch of stuff. So basically saying if you're not in there, add you in there. That's kind of the discrepancy check to make sure you're in there. And then player name equals player destroyed name. Local destroy player equals player list. Find out player. Blah blah blah. So basically, this is just when everyone leaves. Player list is right here. Script.parent.player list. So every player list, this player right here, which is player list.player, gets renamed as a clone to your name. So it's not gonna be called player anymore. It's gonna be called your name, and that's yeah. That's how that works. That way it won't ever change that again because not all of them are going to be called players. Can be able to call the same one. So it's a very complicated process that I'm not really able to decipher and explain to you guys very well right now. If you guys want like an in-depth detail guide, like you guys want me to like rewrite this and kind of go through the code as I write it, I might. I can't promise I will. It's kind of a lot of work. I can tell you one thing. I'll show you guys how to like design a GUI, but you can look up a million YouTube tutorials on how to design a GUI. When I was trying to figure out how to do this and have player lists and like clickable player lists, there was nothing. I could find absolutely nothing on YouTube on anyone that's ever done it before, and I thought this was a cool thing I should share. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. I'll either reach out to you guys personally or we'll do another video and I'll really explain how to do it if this looks cool to you guys to know how to do this. I'm sorry, I just like flung my mic. Um, yeah, so if you guys want to know how to do this, let me know. If you guys don't care, also let me know because then I won't do any more of these. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.